Hey guys, how's it going? I want to quickly discuss a little bit of genetics today. Amazing how we get genes from our mom and dad. Okay, so that's kind of duplication because you get the same kind of a thing like chromosomes number 1 through 22. They're called as autosomes, and then the last chromosome, the 23rd chromosome, that's called as the sixth chromosome. And so 22 plus 22, that's 44, right? And then the 45th and the 46th chromosome, that's what determines your sex. So let's say that you got X from your mother and then you got Y from your dad. Then you are a male. And then let's say that you got X from your mother and then you got X from your dad, then you're a female. Okay, so because from mom you can only get X, but from dad you can get X or Y. So that's how, sex is determined. So the 45th and 46th chromosome that determine your sex. But then the first 44 chromosomes, out of those, you get 22 from mom and 22 from dad. And many of the time you would think like it is just duplication because you don't really need both the copies from both the parents to be working. Like in cystic fibrosis, it is autosomal recessive condition, which means if one of the gene, from your mom or the dad, if one of them is working fine, and even if the other one is defective, it doesn't matter because, you don't get the disease. So that's the nature of autosomal recessive conditions. But then the nature of autosomal dominant condition, like example would be Huntington's chorea. If you get one defective gene from one of the parent, then that's good enough for you to get the disease. Because in those conditions, it appears like both the copies of the genes from both the parents have to be working. It's like double switch, but both of those switches should be working fine for you not to get the disease. That's autosomal dominant. So you wonder, like in autosomal recessive conditions, what the heck is going on? So that's where chromosomes become so interesting. Seriously. And then you would wonder, like, what if an entire chromosome is missing? So is it even possible to have a life like that? In fact, you know what? There's only one condition where you can completely miss the entire chromosome and you can still live through adulthood, and that's Turner syndrome. Where, you get X from your mom or your dad, the X chromosome, but then the second X is missing. Technically they're females. Turner syndrome, they're female patients. And but they have many problems. You can Google about it. Turner's, Turner, Turner syndrome, because they only have one X, so they are females, and they don't have the second X or Y. They don't have it. They only have 45 chromosomes, so they can actually live up to adulthood. So that is the only condition where you can have just 45 chromosome and one entire chromosome missing, and you can still live. Genetics, my God, it's so interesting. Go read about all those autosomal dominant conditions, recessive conditions, X-linked conditions. Very interesting. We'll keep talking about these kinds of things in future videos too, okay? I'll talk to you later in my next post. I hope you found this interesting. Goodbye.